The smell of iron fills the air, and there's no question where it originates. In the center of this room is a massive fountain, but instead of water, it drips with thick, coagulating blood. Familiar horrors of teeth and guts rise up from the dark red pool. Their gore-covered tentacles grip around you as a robed figure laughs with glee. Hey guys, welcome back to Black Magic Craft. Halloween is almost here. In fact, this is the last build episode before All Hallows Eve is upon us. So I figured I had to make something properly sinister. I also thought it would be really fun to challenge myself with the same criteria for the October Guild Build Craft Off. I pulled out my collection of cheap plastic Halloween skull decorations and got to work building something properly sinister. Let's take a look at what I came up with. At the beginning of this project, I really wasn't sure what I was gonna make. The only thing that I knew is that it would use some Halloween skulls. I started digging through my collection of bits looking for inspiration. I decided that I wanted to use one of the larger skulls to create some sort of an evil statue or set piece, and quickly thought it would be cool to create some kind of gory blood fountain. I wanted the mouth of the skull to be spewing blood. That was important. Luckily, these particular skulls were a thin, hollow plastic, so it was easy to cut between the teeth and allow the jaw to open. I had some foam bricks left over from a previous project, but I needed a base to build on. I set to work milling up some XPS foam into a square that I felt would be the appropriate size for a pool. I didn't measure this out, it was just eyeballed. Then it was just a matter of gluing some foam bricks around the perimeter of the base. I used ALEENE'S tacky glue for this. It sets up fairly fast and doesn't create a mess of wisps like hot glue does when building with little foam bricks. I wanted the wall of the fountain to be 2 bricks thick, and once it came to laying the inner rows, I encountered my first problem. I had randomly picked the thickness of my square base, and this meant that my inner row of bricks would be sitting at a different height than the outer ones. This was an easy fix though. I just cut another layer of base to the appropriate thickness to bring it flush with the outside bricks. After that, I could lay out both rows until I got the height I wanted. I wanted the big skull to be seated on a bit of a pedestal, so using some more bricks, I created a small, stepped area within the pool for it to sit on. I also thought I'd want a few smaller skulls to adorn the corners of the fountain, so I grabbed some smaller skull beads and used some plastic arrows to fill the holes. These would create cool looking spikes. Unfortunately, I had a bit of a super glue mishap and accidentally squirted super glue all over myself. That really sucked. I primed the skulls separately from the styrofoam so I could spray them out with an aerosol primer. With these sort of cheap plastic items, it's a bit of a crapshoot as to what will stick, and in general, a flat black spray paint will work best. The foam itself, however, I covered in my usual Black Magic Craft base coat, which is just Mod Podge mixed with black craft paint. One good thing about the winter approaching is that the baseboard heaters in the game room start being used, so it creates a great little area to speed up drying time on projects. I painted the stone on the fountain using the same advanced stone painting technique I outlined in episode 109. The only difference is that I also put a coat of a deep red on the bottom of the pool to act as an undercoat of color for when I later put on the somewhat translucent blood effect. The skulls I painted out using the same method I demonstrated last week in episode 112. I thought the bronze color and patina would create a nice visual contrast to the blood red, rather than just painting them out in a boring stone. One very important step in this project is that I sprayed on my matte varnish to the items before doing the blood effects. I obviously wanted the blood to stay shiny and wet looking, and if I were to seal this piece when it was finished, the matte varnish would dull the gloss of the blood and make it look, well, terrible. So this was my last chance to get on my protective coating. After that, I attached the big skull to the base with hot glue. Originally, I thought I'd put one small skull on each corner, but I decided at the last minute it would look cooler to just have two submerged skulls right in the blood pool. For the blood, I used my favorite material for small liquid effects, 5-minute epoxy. I'm lucky that I can buy this stuff at my local dollar store for $1.50 a tube, which makes it a crazy cheap resin substitute. Even if you can't find it at your dollar store, buying it for a few bucks more at a place like Home Depot or Amazon is still a really cost-effective option for small water effects. Buying actual 2-part resin can be expensive, and it also has a low shelf life. Once opened, resins begin to fail after a few weeks or months depending on the brand, so buying big bottles for small pours can result in wasted material. The other issue is curing time. Some liquid resins take several hours or days to cure. This 5-minute epoxy really only takes 5 to 10 minutes to set up, and it never ever seems to fail, no matter what you mix into it. In this case, I mixed in a tiny bit of Vallejo Gory Red. The downside to this stuff is that it's very thick and doesn't flow easily. You also have a very short amount of working time. It is possible to thin it with acetone, but I'm always hesitant to do so on foam crafts, just in case it causes some melting. To deal with the low working time and thickness, I did 2 separate pours here, building up the pool in layers. As the epoxy started to set up, I created some drips from the skull's eyes and mouth to really amp up the effect. I'm really happy with how this build turned out. It combined a bunch of techniques I've recently covered on the channel, it used the October Guild Build challenge material, and it left me with a piece that was properly evil just in time for Halloween. If you want to pick up any supplies for this or other builds, head over to blackmagiccraft.ca where I have my essential equipment store. Those links are Amazon affiliate links, and shopping with them helps fund these videos. If you love these videos I make and you want to help me keep making them, the best way you can do that is by supporting Blackmagic Craft on Patreon. Those funds ensure I can dedicate so much time and effort into these videos each and every week. Oh, and also you can help me out by purchasing one of the cool new shirts I have available if you're into that sort of thing. Links will be in the video description below.
Blood for the blood god!
There you have it, guys. I hope you found this video enjoyable, entertaining, and most of all, inspiring. If you did, hit that like button and let me know in the comments section below. I hope you all have an amazing and awesome and safe Halloween. Cheers. Happy crafting.